Into the US Open Cup final where they will face the Houston Dynamo. Let's now welcome in our friends Herculez Gomez and Nedum Onuoha as well. Herc, let me start with you by saying, and so it goes on, this Messi magic.
It's insane. I don't even know what to say. I was prepared to come on here about the 67th minute, and I was going to say, all right, tomorrow I'm going to do FC, going to talk about Messi's first loss, what it means, yada, 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 yada. And then it's minute 58 when Tata Martino makes all these subs, throwing kind of the kitchen sink at Cincinnati FC, and it's Messi off a free kick. Stevie already said, pin perfect cross. Keeper can't come out. They score. And then a few more offensive subs, and Messi around 3 players in a game where Cincinnati absolutely played it to perfection until they didn't. They didn't have the management to close this game out. And Messi in 2 moments in a game where he was pretty much non-operative. It was 2 magic Messi moments that changed this game. I mean, Inter Miami should have lost this game. Cincinnati should have won this game. Busquets looked like he was a 35-year-old player playing in his 5th game in 15 days, losing the ball in some very precarious positions. Messi looked disinterested at times, and yet when you counted Inter Miami out, when you counted Messi out, he proves once again why he's the best player of all time. 8 games, 10 goals, 3 assists, and I'm running out of things to say about the guy.
Have you got anything to say about the guy and this run continuing?
It's all positive. I have nothing negative to say about Lionel Messi, and look, it is clear to see that he's enjoying his time in Major League Soccer and that whatever he's doing seems to be having a positive impact not only on Inter Miami but on the league as a whole. It is obvious that it's clear to see. I'm just surprised that it has happened as quickly as it has. And I'm surprised that there hasn't been enough of an adjustment from teams that are playing against Lionel Messi, or that maybe those adjustments simply don't apply to Lionel Messi. And so a team like FC Cincinnati that has been so good in MLS competition this year, you're winning the game 2-1. It is the 97th minute. If there was one guy on the field that should not be afforded any time and space to get his head up and pick out a pass, who would it be? Lionel Messi. And yet you cannot drop off and let him decide the game for you. That's the part that I don't quite understand. And it feels, as I've said for the last few times that we talked about Messi, it feels like there are a lot of these players watching Messi play and admiring Messi play. And when you do that, with a smile or not, he's going to kill you. And he's going to kill you time and time again, and he's not going to apologize for it. And so Inter Miami goes on, and they have a very real opportunity to get their 2nd trophy in a matter of essentially 6 weeks, which is really the time that Messi has been here, and he has changed the outlook of this club, of this organization, of this team. Everything that Inter Miami is because of Lionel Messi, and we'll continue to talk about Messi because he'll continue to play well if you afford him the time and space to do so.
So, Stevie, as a former MLS coach, is that what you're telling the players who are coming up against Messi? Just forget who you're up against?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can say a lot of things to players, and there's a reason why a lot of these players are in MLS and not the Premier League or Serie A or anywhere else. But at the end of the day, it's down to Lionel Messi. He had 2 opportunities in this whole game. 2. Now, if I'm Cincinnati and somebody says to me before the game, Messi's only going to get 2 opportunities to hurt you in the game, I'm taking that all day long. All day long. Unfortunately, it's Lionel Messi. So I don't care whether it's Cincinnati, Nashville, or anybody else. If this guy gets space, which he will, because he's got a football brain, he knows where to get the space. You can do as much coaching as you want and tell your players all kinds of things, but when the game starts, he takes over. Now, physically, there is no question. He absolutely, last night, was gassed. Gassed. But he's got such a heart and such desire to play and do well that he finds 2 pieces of genius that have killed Cincinnati. And I don't think there's an awful lot. Other than the obvious, yes, close the ball, but over a period of that time, to give him 2 chances, there's nothing you can do.
And just very quickly about him being exhausted, which was obvious to see in that his body language, not that we have to read it, he's bent over.
I thought he was going to be sick at one stage.
With hands on his knees.
Yeah.
Now,
Twice.
that is the universal sign of, my goodness, I am struggling.
I'm gassed.
And to his credit, in the moments that matter, he was able to deliver. I don't know what this means long-term for Inter Miami and their prospects of perhaps making a run at the playoffs, because it feels like he's throwing everything he's got at this Leagues Cup and Open Cup. I don't know how much more of this we can get from Lionel Messi, but while we're getting it, let's enjoy it.
There's a funny thing that happened last night, right after the game, is that I got a call from Stevie Nicol. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing these Cincinnati players getting selfies with Messi? So I messaged producer Mike. Producer Mike tells me, I've just heard from LA about the exact same thing.
Yet you find time to line up, and this is right after the game is over, right after you lost on penalties, to then line up and essentially ask for a picture. And just as I thought I could not get any more upset or bothered by this, I then see Brandon Vasquez pull out his jersey and a marker for Lionel Messi to sign it. Again, let me repeat this. You just lost the semifinal of a cup competition at home in a game that you were winning 2-0. And you feel that that's a moment to be doing this? I don't care if it's Lionel Messi, I don't care if it's Maradona, I don't care if it's Pelé, I don't care. He's an opponent that is keeping you from achieving your goals as an individual and as a team. And yet, where is the competitive pride? Where is the respect for your organization, for your club, for your teammates, for yourself? Where is the self-respect and the sense of pride in knowing that you've just lost an opportunity to win a title for your club, for yourself, for your teammates? And yet you're out there lining up to get a picture, and yet you're out there getting a marker so that he can give you an autograph. Now, people will say, well, this is after the game, so why does it matter? It does matter, and I tell you why. Because if you have a marker in your hand, you've thought about this before the game. Yeah? If indeed you're willing to line up minutes after you've just lost, it's because you've thought about this before the game. And so you can't tell me that you're giving the very best of yourself that is available to you in order to beat Inter Miami against Lionel Messi if you're concerned about getting an autograph from the guy. You cannot beat the guy if you continue to treat him as a god, as a deity, as an untouchable. He is good enough. Trust me, he doesn't need your help. He doesn't need your help. He is good enough to do it on his own. You don't have to give him that sort of respect and that sort of admiration. No, play the game, compete. If he ends up beating you because he's better than you, so be it. But you cannot be lining up to get an autograph for the guy and a marker and get a picture seconds, minutes after you just lost a cup semifinal at home after you were winning the game. Embarrassing. And that behavior has to change if these teams are going to be able to beat Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. They have to be willing to compete first, and they're not doing that right now.
Now, on the panel, the last player to have played in MLS, the most recent, because he's the youngest, is Nedum. So is this something that yeah, he is the youngest. Sorry to let you know that, Herc. We've had that confirmed as well, unfortunately. That includes me too. But Nedum, let's just talk a little bit about this, because is this something that's more of a modern thing in football? Were you seeing this? Obviously, it wasn't Lionel Messi in MLS when you were there, but you were there when Zlatan's been there. Were you seeing this type of behaviour?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think, given the fact that it's Messi, this is one of the reasons why people are behaving in this sort of manner, because he's probably inspired so many of them to, to go and play the game itself. They've seen him for so many years, and they likely didn't anticipate they'd ever get the chance to be on a field with them. But I don't disagree with anything that Ali's just said there, and the reason for that is because I think for some, and this is during my time in MLS, from that game, what's the biggest emotion as they walk away? Is it a disappointment of having lost in a semi-final of the Open Cup, or the fact that they got a chance to meet and play with Lionel Messi? I think if it's a case of the Messi part being the biggest thing for them, then I think that kind of dictates who they're going to be as people and as players. And I'd be really worried if that was the case. But then overall, I think in terms of people wanting to have autographs, pictures and stuff like this, I think it has changed across the years. You see shirt swaps at half-time in games now, but some of that comes because, we have 3 shirts.
Stevie?
No, I'm just disgusted with it all, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't have anything that is allowed on TV, to be honest with you. I'm absolutely disgusted that anybody would lose a cup semi-final after 90 minutes, extra time, penalties, and have the gall to think that's okay to go and get an autograph of somebody from the opposition. I'm sorry. If I was the coach, I'd kick every one of them with my size 12s as they came back in the dressing room. Every single one of them that embarrassed themselves and us by doing that. I'm sorry.